Today is just a day full of reasons, I guess. The Elder Scrolls 6 hired a Dragon Age the Veilguard writer for the modern audience. What? Why? Have you not learned anything? Are you not paying attention to what's going on around you? These people, their brains are cooked. They're politically brain rotted. I don't get it. Oh, God. Oh, I didn't pick up that screen. That's crazy. Why? Dude, it's so fucked. It's so fucked.
What's up, Space?
Dude, all of my favorite franchises are done for, man. Borderlands and Elder Scrolls are done for. And pretty soon, Fallout's coming. And it's probably gonna be worse than Fallout 4. It's probably gonna be Starfield 2. The prequel.
Pirates, this is your Admiral, the obviously awesome Dr. Disaster.
Obviously
and
awesome,
there are some
right.
projects that you get involved with that are really, really difficult to bounce back from.
There ain't no coming back! There ain't no coming back!
Dragon Age the Veilguard is one such
Was that the crow?
project. The game was absolutely terrible at virtually every level. It flopped in just about the most public and humiliating way imaginable, even with game journalist shills trying to
what the
prop it
fuck
up.
is that,
And if
man?
there was any justice, or hell, forget that. If there was just plain any common sense in the gaming industry, then the developers in important roles who worked on the Veilguard would find it difficult to land big jobs at new studios. However,
Dude, Dragon Age Veilguard, not gonna lie, one of my favorite games of all time. I've never played it, but man, I love that it exists because it's just like an example of all of this politically brain-rotted trans rights pride bullshit. And I love it. I love that we get to shit all over it.
this here is the self-proclaimed queerosexual gendermancer Kareem Bush, who directed this piece of crap game, and Wizards of the Coast hired up Bush in a senior position right away.
Some people are really f***ing stupid.
Well, sadly,
Yeah, right.
the video game industry has also had no problem hiring up the writers who worked on the Veilguard. You know, the brilliant geniuses who came up with dialogue like this.
I think your fingers are just perfect.
Yeah. So... are you trying to have sex with me?
Hadn't really thought that far ahead, but maybe?
What? What kind of interaction is this?
Quick, think about us having sex.
I would rather get a dirty Sanchez than continue to watch this.
Now, with this context in mind, we must turn our attention to the Elder Scrolls franchise, because Bethesda hired one of the bozos who worked on the Veilguard. The Elder Scrolls franchise is one of the most beloved IPs in gaming, and they have not released a new title in about 14 years by now. And no, I'm not including the Elder Scrolls Online. The Elder Scrolls 6 is just about the most hotly anticipated game around, so you'd think they would be very discerning about who they bring on to make this game.
Dude, they're fucked. They're so fucked.
After all, just about every writer in existence would want to work on this game, but we have just gotten word that this fella right here, John Dombrow, the senior narrative designer / writer for the Veilguard, he was just brought on as senior quest designer at Bethesda, most likely working on the Elder Scrolls 6.
A senior quest designer. So this is like gonna be some major stuff. Okay.
Considering all the talent they could have hired, this absolutely blows my mind.
Well, it's time.
It doesn't blow mine. You know, it's par for the course. Bethesda's been a garbage company since Oblivion, pretty much. I'm surprised Skyrim came out as good as it was. That was just like, that was a fluke, honestly. Because then Fallout 4 came out, and boy, was that a dumpster fire. Compared to Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4 was garbage. But it was like a 7 out of 10 game. Honestly, it wasn't actually a bad game. It just was a bad Fallout game. Bethesda sucks, man. Just look at the Creation Club, and then they got rid of the Creation Club. They don't even have that anymore. Now they've got like this, this new creation thing. Paid mods. You want to pay for your mods?
Someone told you, no one f***ing likes that!
Yeah, all that paid mods is it's giving you like, oh, I could either put this in the game or I could charge extra for it outside the game. Why? More money, that's why. But it shitifies it. And all you're gonna do is create your competition and kill yourself.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also, I've started uploading some content onto Rumble as well, so make sure you look for Dr. Disaster over there.
Rumble's
and
cool.
Don't forget to follow me on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1.
Definitely follow this guy, subscribe, everything. I got him linked down there in the description.
Anyways, let's take a gander at this fella that got hired on at Bethesda as a senior quest designer. Now, if you look at this LinkedIn for this guy, you can see at the top there that he was just brought on as a senior quest designer at Bethesda.
Yeah, it was also a senior writer and narrative designer on Dragon Age Veilguard.
The project that he's working on is not listed, so it's possible that maybe he's doing work on Starfield DLC or something like that. But I have a hard time believing he wouldn't just list Starfield if that was the case.
Also worked on Anthem.
No, it seems likely to me that the still untitled Elder Scrolls 6 is what he's working on, because with that game, there is still no official title listed on it. Isn't that crazy, by the way? The last real Elder Scrolls game came out in 2011, and we still don't even have the name of its follow-up. For as much as GTA fans like to joke about how long it has taken for GTA 6 to come out, Skyrim is actually 2 years older than GTA 5,
right?
And we still don't have a clue as to a release date.
And it's definitely gonna get delayed at least once, maybe twice.
But anyhow, all that...
But 100% it's getting delayed. All these big games from these giant corporations, they always get delayed.
Aside, this guy is a bad hire, and all it takes is a cursory glance at his resume on LinkedIn here to show you why. His previous job was working as the senior writer for...
You know why, right? Because all of the best people that would work on a game like this are working on other games. And they don't have the money to pay for those guys, so they cheap out and get somebody like this. Because they don't have any money.
Ghost of Yotei, which is one of many reasons why I'm expecting that game to be dog crap. Yep. Interestingly enough, Sucker Punch hired this John Dombrow guy from BioWare.
I've never even played Ghost of Tsushima.
After working on the Veilguard, and they also hired this person here, Courtney Woods, who was another writer from the Veilguard. I will give Sucker Punch this though. Both of those writers were brought on a few years prior to the release of the Veilguard, so they would not have known what a colossal failure that game ended up being. But anyways, let's look at this guy's recent history with BioWare on his LinkedIn profile. It says he was a senior narrative designer.
Dude, all these... Why? Co-lead writer on Mass Effect Andromeda? It's just like all these garbage games. Why?
And writer for Dragon Age the Veilguard, which of course was a total catastrophe. Prior to that, he had the same title of Senior Narrative Designer / Writer for Anthem, which, hey, would you look at that? Another complete and total flop. And then, prior to that, he was the co-lead writer for Mass Effect Andromeda. Easily
I played that one.
The worst game in the Mass Effect series, to the point that most Mass Effect fans don't even really count that game in their headcanon. They just focus on the first 3 instead. And
I don't even know really anything about the third one. I didn't play much of the third one. I beat it, I got the bad ending, and then I was done with it, and then I never went back. I do go back every once in a while to play Mass Effect 1 and 2, and I started 3, and I just... Maybe I should finish it. Maybe I should.
Keep in mind that the reason that people generally hate Andromeda so much is because it is considered a deeply awful story.
Yep.
And if you look down here,
and the gameplay was garbage, the character models were garbage, it was glitchy and ugly.
This guy proudly boasts
boring. The car missions were more boring than Mass Effect 1.
LinkedIn that he wrote the first 2 hours of that game. That should tell you everything you need to know about what kind of a failure of a hire this guy is for Bethesda. It's incredible how people in this industry just keep failing upward. I mean,
I played the first 2 hours of Andromeda, and I was wondering through that whole thing, like, hey, when is this gonna get good? Why, this is just kind of boring. And then it never got good. It never stopped being boring.
it would be one thing if the guy had only been responsible for one bad game and the rest of his career was good, but
yeah, they cheaped out.
the dude by now has a consistent track record of being involved in dog shit at this point. However, this isn't the first time that I have been off-put by the people that they have working on the Elder Scrolls 6. You may remember a few months ago, we discussed these images right here, which had circulated online, showcasing 3 women who work at Bethesda these days.
They look like they could also work at Collective Shout.
In prominent positions. Now, it is true that these people have worked at the company for a while, but look here at how they've changed over the years.
Yeah, they've been politically brain-rotted.
And no, I'm not talking about their weight. As people get older, they sometimes get heavier, and I'm not trying to make fun of them for that. But look at their hair, and their piercings, and even just the expressions on their faces compared to how they used to look, how they used to carry themselves. These people now look as though they are...
They look as though they are possessed by demons!
Utterly steeped in current thing politics. They are displaying all kinds of red flags that I look out for when it comes to people that should be avoided. And they represent 3 pretty important positions for the game. You've got the production and studio director, you've got the senior character artist, and you've got the senior environment artist.
She looks like the craziest out of all of them.
Disconcerting. Now, does all of this mean that the Elder Scrolls 6 is just utterly and completely doomed to be just plain terrible? Well, this writer that they brought on,
I think it's going to be boring. I don't even think it's going to be bad. I think it's just going to be boring.
Has a track record of working on games which ruined their respective franchises with wokeness, and Starfield was mocked pretty hard for its pronoun system in that game, so the signs are not looking great for Bethesda. Considering that this writer...
Yeah, I have a feeling that it's going to be worse than Skyrim, because they're going to focus a bunch of their time and resources on details. They're going to be like, oh, well, the ants, they have their own choreography. They have their own set time of day. They have a set path and it changes. If you step over the ants, they go around you and their path changes. Look, you can see every little speck of a detail on every single pebble on the pathway. That's what we're going to get. A bunch of stupid shit like that, because that's what they did with Starfield, by the way. So much resources was spent on what the world's gonna look like with you just standing there doing nothing.
Is being brought on at a time which presumably should be considered late in the game's
And by the way, Todd Howard said that they did this on purpose, so this is an actual thing that they did.
Development stage, since the trailer for Elder Scrolls 6 dropped like 7 years ago. But considering all that, it is questionable as to how much influence he could have on the Elder Scrolls 6. On the other hand, bringing him in at all showcases a general lack of good judgment that tells me a lot about the current state of Bethesda.
I'm gonna make another prediction. Modders hate modding Starfield because it's just so garbage. I think the same thing is gonna happen with Elder Scrolls 6. Modders just aren't gonna have anything to do with it.
In and of itself. I am a big Elder Scrolls fan, but my hope for the game to be good dwindles with every bit of new news that I
like Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim.
Hear. But anyhow,
that's about half at this point.
What are your expectations for the Elder Scrolls 6? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching me.
I think that it's not gonna flop, but it's not gonna do the numbers that they are seeking. So it's gonna flop. It's not gonna flop on paper, but to the people at the company, it's gonna flop. And I'm already gonna say that, like, half everybody's gonna hate it, half everybody's gonna love it, and only half of those halves will actually play it. Maybe even less than that. Because with every single game that comes out, you got people saying, no, you're wrong, this game is great, and they haven't played it. You got somebody saying, nope, this game is garbage, no redeeming qualities about it, no good, and they haven't played it. And you got people who have played it on both sides saying the same things too. Not good. And I think that's what's coming. The same thing with Starfield is going to happen to Elder Scrolls 6, but times 10.
If you have
Like, comment, subscribe! Ring the bell for all notifications.